Why does Chucky look so much scarier in Child's Play 2 than he does in any other of the Chucky movies or shows? I can't be the only one who thinks this. I mean, sure, he does look pretty scary in part 1, and even in Bride of Chucky, he looks pretty scary in a lot of scenes in that movie also. But in part 2, this is on a whole other level. For some reason, his eyes look way more intense. He just has a much more sinister, kind of evil look to him, don't you think? Not only that, but listen to his laugh in part 2. This is the stuff that nightmares are made of. And I also want to mention that it really seems like they nailed the animatronics for part 2. The puppeteers were at the top of their game in this one. I mean, look how he moves. This looks totally real, and of course they didn't use CGI or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there's some great animatronics in the other movies, but for whatever reason, for me personally, this is a lot scarier. In part 3, his pupils look a little bit smaller and his eyes are not quite as deep blue. But in part 2, his pupils are big and black, and his eyes seem to be a much deeper blue color. Now, it could also have to do with the way that they filmed this movie. John LaFia is obviously a very talented director. Even Roger Ebert praised the direction of this movie. I guess because he looks so convincing in this one, this is why part 2 is the scariest in the franchise for me, and it's also my personal favorite. I also really like part 1, but for totally different reasons. But for me, part 2 will always take the cake. So what do you think of how he looks? Does he look better in the first movie, the second movie? Do you like the way he looks in the later movies or the TV show? Let me know in the comments below. And stay spooky, folks.